Good morning, students. Today I am going to read the story for you. And while reading, I would like to explain certain things from the text, which I think that if there is any difficulty to comprehend it, so I will be explaining, I will be reading the story. And before I begin, the name of the story is The Death of a Hero. And this story is written by Jay Nimbukar. Now, Jay Nimbukar was educated in the universities of Pune and Arizona, and for nearly 5 decades, she has been living on a farm in Maharashtra. She has published 2 volumes of short stories, The Lotus Leaves and Other Stories, and The Phantom Bird and Other Stories. Her 3 novels in English are Temporary Answers, A Joint Venture, and Come Rain. In the last 2 decades, she has been writing in Marathi also and has published 2 novels and a collection of sketches of women. So she's a women writer, and let us see how this story, the background of the story, is about a schoolmaster, an ordinary schoolmaster who tried to fight against the, I can say, current in a sense. There was a problem child in school, and that school, since that child, he had an affiliation with the management, and he was a part of management committee, his father and his relatives. So nobody would dare to speak against him or to write a complaint against him. But Jay Nimkar, how she has beautifully dealt that a hero who is a protagonist, who comes out of everyone and who even dares to lodge a complaint against such a boy. But, and he demands that this boy should be expelled from school. But circumstances and things take the turn that everybody takes it to a prestige issue, makes it as a prestige issue, and nobody was ready. Then finally, the schoolmaster's advocate friends, he intervenes in between, and he tries to convince him, and he says that okay, you just withdraw your complaint against this boy, and we can make a compromise that this boy will be shifted to some other school for some time, and then there is no need for the school teacher, whose name is Tagre, to remain as a hero. And why we call it a death of a hero, because it was not a death, but it was certain heroism, or I can say that heroic qualities which were suppressed, and in this way it was bringing an end to the qualities of a person who speaks against the current scenario. So I'm reading this story before you. I'll read some extracts. The story begins with, "Sit down," the principal said. But Mr. Tagre continued to stand, gaining courage from his own straight backed stance, because he was beginning to feel a little afraid now. The principal looked unhappy. He disliked being forced to perform this sort of an unpleasant task. "I wish you would consider withdrawing this report," he said. "I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that," Mr. Tagre said. He was pleased with his unwavering voice and uncompromising words. It will be very damaging report if put on record. It is a factual report on very damaging conduct. You are asking for the boy's expulsion from school. Don't you think the punishment is too harsh for a few boyish pranks? He has spoiled benches in my classroom by scoring them with a razor blade. He has made the blackboard useless by scratching on it with a piece of tin. He has broken several window panes by throwing stones and rim. Yesterday, he broke another one, and the flying piece of glass hurt a pupil badly. That is not all. Many girl students have complained of having their books, notebooks, and pens stolen. And I could get evidence that the More boy is behind it. Also, there have been complaints from girls that he stops them in the street and shouts obscenities at them and threatens to beat them up. The report contains all this and more. I cannot agree with you that the behavior can be called merely boyish pranks. So Mr. Tagre, he explains to the principal, to the headmaster, that these acts of More boy, they are not an ordinary acts, because he had been damaging the school property. He had been throwing stones which hurt a student, and he had been stealing notes, copies, pens of other students, and also his behavior with the girl students were also not up to the mark, because he had been making obscene comments, he was being vulgar, and he was stopping them, and he also threatens to beat them up. So this was, Mr. Tagre said that these all activities, they do not come into the category of boyish pranks or simple piece of conduct. Now, the principal spread his hands in a helpless gesture. He looked at Mr. Tagre, who was a small, thin man in a slightly yellowed dhoti and his coat of a nondescript color and his black cap. Outwardly, he looked the same as he had for the last 15 years that the principal had known him. A solid teacher, a mature and rational man, suitably diplomatic in the dealings with those in authority, a good man to work with. Now, how picturesque description J. Nimkar is making about the schoolmaster. He's a short man, he's a thin man, but he's a courageous man. He's wearing dhoti, an ordinary dhoti, a black cap, and coat also, which seems to be worn out, which is not new. But one thing which is very important, that principal found him to be a non-interfering person. He seemed to be suitably diplomatic in his dealings. That is, before this incident, it was never when Mr. Tagre had any confrontation with the authorities. So this sentence forces us to think that what was the seriousness of this complaint, which is forcing him to take this step. The principal, heartened by the scrutiny of his colleague, continued more hopefully. But the boy has already been punished for this misconduct, he said. Why rake it all up again? Now, this part is also very important if we analyze personality traits. So we find that he was a boy the boys, the complaint against whom Mr. Tagre is making, he is also not an ordinary boy. But why principal is taking his side, that also puts a question before us, and we think that this is something which is based on the